I'm putting the picture on YouTube.
All right. Hello, family. How are you guys? Welcome. I am Chef Maria, and I have been coming to the Trinity Farmers Market since last year. I am a personal chef. I create healthy, convenient meals for busy families and people on the go. And I also help try to support farm-to-table sustainability locally so that we can eat where we live. I source my ingredients from farmers markets and farms on the south and west sides of Chicago. So, hello, feeling great today. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thank you, and we were just having a conversation about energies today. See, that's the universe, nothing but God. Thank you, God, for letting us be here today. Thank you for feeling great. Thank you for coming to eat. Thank you. You guys ready to eat?
Yeah.
All right. So let me tell you what I'm making today. So how I determine, I use, sometimes I have an idea, but I'll come to the market and I'll walk around, I'll taste stuff, eating stuff here and there, and see, okay, what am I going to make today? So today I found some wonderful, these. I've got okra here. The okra comes from, I got this from Diane. Over there in the corner, Mr. Barker has okra too. I got tomatoes from this wonderful farmer right here. What's your name?
Come on, Rashid.
And the name of your farm?
Garden.
Okay, there you go, right there. And then I have 72nd and Stewart. I also have sage here, and the sage is from Trinity's garden. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the pot going and get started. What I want you guys to do. I love herbs. Love herbs. Herbs can add a lot of flavor without adding the salt. So I want you guys to take a little bit, if you will. You can take it, grab a leaf, pass it around. Sage. Anyone? What are some uses that you guys have used sage for?
Dressing.
Right? Okay. Anything else?
Cleaning energy in the space.
Well, you burn sage too. That's another thing with burn sage. It's cleaning energy. So, and those are the only two things that I know of, that, people have used sage that I've used sage, growing up, is in dressing. That's it. But sage, sage, just like all of the other herbs, adds so much flavor. They're very fragrant. You guys smell it? See how it feels in your fingers? Your fingers are all going to smell like sage too now. All right, so now I am going to, I got the butter. Okay, so I'm going to add butter. I love butter. Anybody love butter?
Yeah.
I love butter.
Now, what kind of butter you guys like?
Real butter.
Real butter. Anybody tell me what's the difference? What's not real butter?
Margarine is not real butter, and they had a nurses study, and all the nurses died.
Oh my God.
They didn't all die, but they didn't do well.
So that was something else. That wasn't
No, I'm talking about the margarine.
Yes, so, yes.
Ate margarine.
I don't like margarine. When growing up, I had it in my mind, I don't eat butter. They were loaded up with the stuff that we were used to. I won't blast any names. But you guys know, popular brands of the margarine, and I would always get kind of queasy. It's like, I don't eat butter. So when I went to, and it's so crazy, it took me to go to culinary school where the margarine, they don't even use margarine, well, not where I went, and it was butter. And that was the first time I was introduced to butter, like whole sweet cream butter. Delicious. It doesn't leave that oily taste in your mouth sometimes when you're eating. I love butter. Butter's got a bad rap, but I love butter.
God made
All right.
butter.
Right, God made
He
all
didn't
of
make
it.
margarine.
What folks are using it for. All right, so I'm gonna grab this. All righty, well, let's get started. I got the pot on, getting kind of hot. It's getting really hot. Right? All right, well, enough of me talking. Let's get some of this butter. All right, so what do you guys? Anybody else like sweet cream butter? Now this I use unsalted butter. I don't like a lot of salt in my dishes. And I'm gonna turn this down a little bit because if you have the fire too high when you are cooking the butter, it will burn. So you won't burn your butter before you even get started. So I got this in here, and first thing I'm gonna do is put the okra. Now when you're cooking, especially if you're layering things, like I'm doing the okra and the tomatoes, You want to always, you want to try to cut your vegetables to where they're about the same size. That way they'll cook evenly. Also, you want to cook what takes the longest in here first. So the okra's gonna, while I'm wasting the water that I was gonna put a little bit in here.
You got a little down.
Well, I got a little bit down. That's enough, right?
You still got it down.
Huh? Oh, a little water. I lost the fire. I'm wondering why it's not going. I don't even have fire. All right, here we go. It's very windy out here for those of you who don't know. Very, very windy. Yeah, I said I just lost my fire. So I got the okra in here. It only takes a few minutes to saute. I sliced them so that they will cook a little faster. Normally, if you leave them whole, it takes, I think, about maybe 10 minutes to saute them if you're leaving them whole. This should take maybe about, maybe 5. Also, I like the crunchiness. A lot of times when we're used to thinking okra, what are some things that you eat okra in? How have you had okra?
Black eyed peas.
Yes, and stews and soups, beans, fried, of course. We cannot forget about fried okra, right? Exactly. So, and then a lot of turn-offs for people about okra is that when you cook it, it's slimy. Even when you slicing it, you get a little bit of the sliminess. It's awesome. I love it because it helps thicken up whatever it is that you're trying to cook.
Some people just
So,
like slime.
Yeah, I guess.
So, right?
The water.
Oh, thank you. So I'm going to put a little bit of salt in here. Oh, Lord, I'm losing stuff.
Yeah.
All right, well, can you guys smell anything yet?
Oh, yeah.
The butter.
The butter, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then if you guys see, I really don't have a whole lot in the pan. That was 2 little tabs, but really not a whole lot. Okay, so sauteing these cooked down. So now I just wanted a little bit to get these started, get these going a little bit. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of tomatoes. Now the liquid from the tomatoes is gonna help stew the okra. So it'll help it cook also. So add a little bit of that in. Matter of fact, yeah, I drink that water.
I do like sacrifice.
Yeah, okay, so now a couple of people already have come up and they're like, oh, you're making succotash. And I've heard the word, and it's like, oh, okay, what's that? And I know I've used to,
It's so good.
yes, and I used to always hear it.
It's a southern dish.
Right, Louisiana.
A southern dish.
Yes, and that's what I'm learning. And also, succotash, what's in it? What? Corn, onions.
Okra, sometimes lime.
Tomatoes. Onions.
So yeah, a lot of different things. It's not like, pretty much the same things with maybe 1 or 2 different combos here or there mixed together. So what I'm doing is what everybody here kind of remembered, but without the corn. So now if you see I've got, so I'm sauteing now a little bit, and if you see it's a little, you see that kind of sliminess there? You guys all see a little bit. But it's cooking down, and again, this okra is not gonna be the really, you bite into it and it's so soft you don't even know that you're eating okra. This is definitely gonna have some bite to it. Okay, so now I've got these cooking down in here. Now I'm gonna, oh, here we go, right here. Always, if you're cooking, always taste the different levels. Don't put your record in your mouth. Burn enough. When you taste your food at different levels, then you can. It's easier not to over season or over salt. It's hard. It's hard to remove salt. Once you've got too much in there, then you've got to add extra stuff in it that can completely throw off your dish. But if you taste as you go, like this, just tasted it. Okay, I know we need a little more salt. And I don't use a whole lot. And then I'm gonna add some pepper. A little pepper to this. I use now I love using kosher salt.
Not sea salt?
I use sea salt too. I use kosher sauce. I use sea salt. And as a matter of fact, I use the last couple of weeks. The last couple of times I've come, I've used those. You guys remember those sea sauce that I used when I did the raw? Well, we did the cucumbers and the chow relish and things like that. So, and one I did squash, and I think it was a chow relish too because it was such a hit the time before that. But yeah, so that the raw stuff is good. I had let me see. We did the salts. I used charcoal. I had a charcoal sea salt. And then one time I used a honey mustard sea salt. and I had a Scotch bonnet spicy one for another dish. So I love using those. They have lower salt content per teaspoon than regular salt, only because it's got extra stuff added in it. Now, it's still salty. You still can't go crazy on those either, but it allows you more flavor if you're not using other stuff. It gives you a little bit more flavor than it does salt. Now, what we were asking, so you guys, like I said, this has been sauteing for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to add just a little water to it. Just a little bit of water to help these kind of cook, and then I'm going to leave it up so that that water can kind of burn out too. So now, what I was saying about the salt. Salt, I like using a kosher salt. And I don't use that, you guys know what we're used to, right? That iodized, that table salt, that's so fine, you know, you can't see it. Now, what I like about these, about kosher salt, I'm going to show you, is that if you guys see, kosher salt is bigger, the flakes are bigger. The granules of kosher salt are bigger. So when the kosher salt hits your tongue, you get that taste of saltiness faster than you would that table salt, because this covers more surface area of your tongue. So you end up using less. We all know when we do table salt, you put it on there, and then as soon as you look, okay, and then you want to put a little more. So it's so easy to over salt when you're using that table salt. So this is just about done. So now I'm going to add the sage. You want to add your herbs at the end, at the very end of your cooking, because if not, they'll burn.
Oh, okay.
They will burn. And then you'll get more of a, you won't get that fresh brightness of the herbs. So I'm going to put some sage in here. And I love sage. Not too much. Love sage.
Where do you purchase your salt?
I get them from wherever, different stores. I like getting them from Pete's because they always have the nice size ones on sale for like $8, $9. But they last me a few months. Okay, so this is pretty much done.
You gonna add the red pepper?
So for the spice, thank you. See, that's why I got you guys here and all the ingredients laid out so you can tell me when I'm missing stuff. So just a little spice.
Okay.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just a little spicy.
What was that?
Red pepper flakes. So now here, I added the water to help it cook down, and then I cooked the water out. I just let the water run out a little bit. So you see, you got, it's like stewed tomatoes. It's pretty much stewed tomatoes and okra. You guys smell it?
I'm hungry.
I'm telling you. All right, so I'm going to taste it before I get to you guys. Let me see.
Look, I'm still saying what the beans I'm gonna cook today. You know what?
That's so delicious. So I'm going to turn that off. And I'm going to add just a little bit more sage, because when I tasted it, I don't taste
You use the garlic and
a whole lot.
bell pepper.
No. I was gonna use that, but I'm like, nah. It didn't come from here from the farm. I'm not gonna use it. So I like using what's here.
Fresh.
Exactly, what's here. You can, yes. And normally when I cook, I usually add base. I do onions and garlic. Well, let me stop talking to feed you guys. Any questions about it? Yeah, keep rolling. I want everybody to see their faces. That way you can tell if they really like it or not. Or they just lying to me. But it's good. I know it's good. I taste it. It don't look like it's enough. So we're going to have just a little bit to taste. And I'm going to make a couple more pots, okay? So don't freak out and get discouraged if you don't get to taste. I'm going to make some more.
I can wait this shit. I'm good.
How is it? Can you taste the sage?
Go ahead, man. I can wait.
Okay. Okay, ladies, wait, come back. I just have one other thing real quick, and you guys can do this too while you're waiting. So after you taste it, what I want you guys to do, oh, thank you. What I love having people do after you taste those bites is close your eyes and taste it again. And then really focus on, what you smell, what you taste, what you feel in your mouth. Can you separate each item, out from the dish? Can you taste the okra, the tomatoes? So when you start thinking about eating, like when you go out to eat or when you cook, I believe eating should be an experience. You should love what you're eating. You should feel some type of way when you're eating some really good food. You know how it hits you when you get something that's like, oh my gosh, this is so good. That's what food should be. And you see, I didn't put a lot in here. Food can be really, really good and be really, really simple. And this is really simple. So again, all I used today was the okra. I used the tomatoes. I used salt and pepper, red pepper flakes, and butter. And that's it. Oh yes. And I'm gonna make some more so that.
You know, I've never really been a proponent of okra, you and me both. But this is well, that was the thing. It was always slimy. But this is so fresh. It's not soft, but it's cooked just right. And the tomatoes are so fresh.
That's enough for her.
Thank you.
And I'm supposed to be low on the salt, but it tastes like it's very well seasoned.
Yes, and it's not a whole lot of salt.
I enjoy
I don't
it.
know about salt. My son has allergies, and so what I was doing was cooking his food separate and cooking our food separate. That's too much. That was so much work trying to cook his stuff and cook mine. So I'm like, I'm cooking this healthy stuff for him, and we're steady eating, you know, Brian said, you know, whatever. It's like, wait a minute. We should be all eating the same thing. So now when I make the food, I'll cook it with a little salt, or no salt, depending on what else I put in there. And then I'll either top it with some of our seasoning sauce that we use, or just leave it like it is. And then we all eat the same thing. Here you go. So,
No, I'm helping out, so you can have that.
well, thank you. I want to make some more. So thank you, family. Thank you for coming. Thank you guys for enjoying. Thank you for eating. I am again Chef Maria. Any information you guys want to know about anything else, let me know. My phone number, you guys can reach me 773-231-7040. That's my business. It is called Cocinetas. Again, I'm a personal chef. I'll do little caterings of private dinner parties and stuff like that. So thank you very much. You guys enjoy. Yes, catering classes, things like that too. But yeah, we can definitely talk. It can be something personal, private, or bigger. I just have to get a team. But just let me know. And thank you again. Thank you. God bless everybody. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you.
I have a question. Would you add onion at all to that too?
I would add garlic, onion, because I